So I've been having some very profound dreams lately, very much so. And the thing with dreams, they never, on the surface, they never appear as if you like how you think it would be. But I just had a dream, and for some reason I was at my mom's house, and I don't have a relationship with my mother at all, the one who adopted me, or my biological mother for that matter. But I have some animosity towards my mother who adopted me, and one thing she did get right growing up is that I'm supposed to be a writer. But it's interesting because growing up, she never supported that gift or talent or that know how. She never supported that, but you knew that was what I was destined to be. Mind you, my mother who adopted me is a pastor. And so I just had a dream that I was at her house for some reason, and I'm in the bathroom. And the bathroom is associated with Cancerian energy. And I was constipated, very much so. And my mother was in her room arguing, loud arguing. And that's an environment I grew up in, always arguing, always angry. Never felt comfortable or safe, really, in my environment because of that. And my parents, used to argue and fight, and there was a lot of domestic violence and things. Well, that was going on in the dream, and I'm in the bathroom just extremely constipated, and that's something I've always struggled with throughout my life. And I have a Pisces moon, and one of the things that, your moon sign will reveal is your motherhood or your mother and how you felt about her in your environment. So for me to have mine in Pisces, I just never honestly felt safe or secure or really supported in my creative artistic. And it's interesting because I never really admitted that to myself. Like, wow, I suppose I really never felt safe growing up. I never really acknowledged that part. So that's very interesting that right now I can honestly look back and be like, you know what, you're right. I didn't feel safe at all. Well, anyway, I'm sitting there in the bathroom just constipated. And my mother is in her room arguing with, I don't know who she's arguing with. And so I woke up and I, did some basic research on, what constipation can signify in a dream. And it's basically talking about, some feelings and emotions that you're still holding on to, and anger, resentment, feelings that are not expressed. And back to my point of being a writer, I am a writer. It comes very naturally to me. It's like automatic. It's almost like I don't even have to think. It just happens. And I've always associated with my writing with her. And I don't write what I'm supposed to be writing. I'm not writing. I go back and forth with astrology writing because I don't feel supported in that. And so that's another trigger. And then I'm supposed to be writing books. I've always been writing books, poetry, just supposed to be writing. I'm not doing it. And lately with my little Saturn return, I've been having like these very vivid dreams. And it's like every dream is a different scenario of some type of trauma that I suppose I've suppressed. Like me feeling unsafe in my environment growing up. And I never thought of it like that. I never acknowledged it like that, but it's true. And so for that to be, I feel like my final dream, especially with this, my dream on today, and today's the full moon in Pisces, and I have a Pisces moon. It has finally dawned on me, like, I'm still holding on to trauma from my mother. I have Chiron and Leo in the 11th house, and like I said already, I was never supported in any of my creative talents growing up. It's weird. You would know I can write, but you've never nurtured that gift in me, never. And it's like when I was married, I met my ex-husband when I was like in fitness, and that was at the time that I was becoming somebody in the fitness world. Like everybody was starting to know who I was. I was a well-known bodybuilder in the making. And when me and him got divorced, it took me years, and I'm just now becoming consistent with the gym, and it's been years. And it's like I guess I emotionally or spiritually associated fitness and working out with him, and there was a blockage there. And it's like I'm just now getting back into fitness. It's like I've overcome that blockage, and now my next mountain, my next hurdle is to just write. And people, when I was writing astrology, nobody was supporting it. But those people, that's the collective. Those people were literally playing the role of my mother. I don't talk to her, so somebody has to teach me the lesson. It's not her, because I don't speak to her. The people were showing me that was something that's still bothering me, still hurting me. Hence is why I would give hours and hours to write my astrology, and nobody supported it or cared about it or understood it. And that would trigger my Chiron and Leo in the 11th house. I should be writing books. Like, there's so much I have to say, but it's like, I guess that was my way with astrology of like, let's see if it'll work with this really quick. And it didn't. And it blocked me from doing more writing. So if I just let the dream just be, I had a dream about constipation and my mom was arguing with somebody in the background, then I would have missed the whole message. I would have missed what was being told to me. I have Neptune in Sagittarius in the 3rd house. Neptune in the 3rd house just alone is, you'll usually see that in artists. In their chart, you'll see that in artists. But for me to have it in Sagittarius in the 3rd house, that's all about writing and publishing. And that's just the one thing in life the last time I could tell you I really have written poetry and all types of things was when I was a kid. And I remember I had this poem I wrote in, I think it was like maybe middle school or no, elementary really. It was a beautiful one and they laminated it and it was like a big deal. I can't recall my mom or dad or anyone really caring. And I think at that moment, I was stifled at that moment. The poetry was about roses. Red, blue, everything new. And ever since then, I think that was when I stopped growing or I stopped. And so that is where I'm being guided. Neptune and Sagittarius in the 3rd house. That's where I'm being guided right now. Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. And I'm fighting it. Strength card. And I don't mean to fight it. It's subconscious. I'm subconsciously fighting it. Because I've done the writing before. I've done the work. And I don't feel like I've gotten anything out of it. And I don't want to give more, and the same outcome is the same outcome. And so I'm fighting it. But I'm fighting my destiny. I'm fighting what I'm here for. I'm fighting my mother. I guess it's a weird sabotaging reverse psychology thing, like for her to tell me that is what I'm destined to be, and I don't like her. And so if I begin to write, it's almost like, I'm saying that she's right. And I don't like her. But I'm only hurting myself. I guess I can't take back time, and I'm not going to go to her and ask her why, if you knew I was a writer, why didn't you support that? Why didn't you have me in writing classes? Why didn't you pay for my tuition when I was in school for creative writing, communication? Why did you silence me all my life? Why was I always the be quiet? Why did you always silence me? Why didn't you support my poem in elementary school? Why didn't you hang it on the wall? Why weren't you excited for it like I was? Why did you just brush it off? I'm getting angry just thinking about this, but I have to do this. Oh my goodness. I'm only expressing this and showing this because this is my way. Saturn in Aquarius. I have Aquarius in my 4th house. This is my way of holding myself accountable, but this is also my way of having some type of documentation to go back to. Because I know I'm going to overcome this. I know I am. And I want to be able to look back on this. It's just so fucked up. You know I was a writer and you didn't support it. And then here I am doing it. And then it's almost like I'm proving her right. But she tried, I don't know. It's a fucked up thing. I don't want her to be right, but she's right. But why didn't you support me if this is what was right?